Hey everyone, Papa Bear here, and boy, I just got back from my first Warhammer Grand Tournament, and I have thoughts. First off, big shout out to the convention itself, Dragonfall. It was an 8-game tournament over 3 days. You had to play a minimum of 6, and the winner gets a golden ticket to the Games Workshop Warhammer 40K World Championships. Okay. It was 50 plus players. It was well organized. It was well run. Everyone was pleasant. Lots of cool hobby stuff that I'm going to show you. And definitely check out dragonfall.com. It was a great convention and I had a great time. I did play in the minimum of 6 games over the 3 days, and I went 3-3 and placed 21st overall in the tournament. So not bad at all. Especially for me at least, as a more casual narrative player. It was a good weekend overall, and like I said, I'm going to show you some footage of the weekend, and I'm going to try to clean up the audio with the footage. Now, granted, it was in a giant ballroom. It was packed. It was wall-to-wall tables. So I'm going to do the best I can to clean up that audio, but some of it'll just be, it is what it is for the space we were in. But I want to show you guys how cool and all the hobby things that was going on. So I do apologize for some of the audio, but I'll try to clean it up. Now that's firstly. Secondly, let's jump right into the list that I brought to the Grand Tournament, and I'll share my thoughts on the experience overall after the list. So first off, I brought the Silent King, of course. I always take him. He's just too fun to leave on the shelf. I brought the Scorpeg Lord and the Destroyers, Scorpeg Destroyers. I love those guys for a good melee punch. The Lockhurst regular and heavy Destroyers, I brought those too. Just for some shooting threat you can't totally ignore. The Ophidian Destroyers, for some uppy downy shenanigans that they do. I brought Emotech, the Stormlord attached to the Lich Guard, just for another small melee threat. I just have one unit of Wraiths attached to the Technomancer because they're very hard to get rid of, famously, infamously, as we all know. And the Tomb Blades, the Spider, and the Scarabs. Tomb Blades for the scout move, Scarabs and the Spider because they synergize pretty well together. And I love my Spiders and Scarabs. And finally, the Nightbringer, because he is just a problem to deal with for anyone. So always take the Nightbringer. So as you can see, it's not a meta list. They're just fun things that I enjoy playing with, and things that I enjoy putting on the table because I think they're fun units. And I went 3-3 at the tournament, so I'm pretty happy about that. I can't be mad about that. So now that you know the list, let me give you some of my thoughts about the overall experience for the weekend. I was not prepared, guys. I was not ready. To be totally honest, I wasn't prepared for a lot of things. It's a little intimidating at first. I'll be honest, it's a lot intimidating at first. It's wall-to-wall tables. Everybody's bringing their armies out. Everybody's talking. It's loud. It's fast-paced, and it just hits you like this is just another. It's not your basement anymore. It's not your garage. It's another level. And you're exposed to so many armies that you never get to see, you never get to play. So it's just a lot going on. And I admit, at first, like day one, it's my first GT, I was a little intimidated by the whole thing. You don't know what to expect. Another thing that surprised me was the speed at which the games flow and the players flow as far as the tournament setting. And so when I say speed, I mean, like, these guys, they know their army, they know their rules back and forth. They are just fast rolling. They're counting their attacks real quick. Everything is just fast. They know their rules, like, oh, this moves this moves that, this moves that, this moves that. And I'm very respectful about the time that I use on my turn, but I am not that guy that can just, no, okay, this moves 10 inches. This has 24 attacks with 6 units and boom, boom, boom. I'm not that guy. I need to look in that book sometimes just to keep me honest about what's happening. So the speed in which these guys are moving, that surprised me as well. So you also, one of the other things that really really surprised me was you have to really focus when you're playing these games. And I get it. It's like, oh, you're in a tournament. Of course you should focus. Sure, but with a focus, I mean, like, you're on the clock. So I was always in my head about anticipating 2, 3, 4 moves down the line, because I didn't have the time on my turn to think about what I needed to do. So I was always in my head about, okay, if he moves here, I need to use this strat. If they move there, I need to do this many attacks. Always, always, always in my head about that. So it was just like, you had to be razor focused on your game to stay within that timeline. Because when you're in a tournament, you're not just facing your opponent, you're facing the clock. And so, sometimes, you can score late depending on how the game goes, but if you run out of time, you just lose the game. So it's just, you're always focused on the game. And in a casual setting, I can go get some chips, I can go use the bathroom. I could say, opponents like, let me have a little think about this. But in this tournament, it is go, go, go. So that focus was huge. There is no relax. You have to be focused on the game. And I was not totally prepared for that either. So now that I've kind of gave you some of my initial thoughts about just the shock of it all, let's take a look at some footage I took of the weekend. You're going to kind of go through my journey in day 1 through 3. I'm going to show you some hobby stuff. You're going to see some cool painting. You're going to watch me struggle through some of these games. And then when we get back from looking at my time at Dragonfall, I'll give you my final thoughts. And as you can see, I've totally lost my voice as well. Just 3 days of screaming at each other, and not in a aggressive way, but because it's so loud, you just have to yell across the table. So was not prepared to have no voice by the end of this thing either. So let's check out the footage and we'll be right back. All right, I am at Dragonfall, my first GT, and we are going to see how this goes. As you can see, we've got tables and things and all these things set up behind me. So we're going to see how this weekend goes. Like I said, it's 51 players at this GT, 40K championships, and we'll check in as this weekend goes. So stay tuned. My opponent for the first game, cool guy, he's one of the top players around, so I did not win. I took an L, but lots of sportsmanship, awesome guy, I appreciate it. So thank you, Tyler, for the game. It was Imperial Knights that I played, and game 2 was coming up here in a bit, and hopefully we'll see his luck of the draw. I drew one of the top players around, so yeah, but we'll see what I draw for turn 2. It was still a fun game, and we'll be back with an update. Game 2, not turn 2, game 2. We'll be back. Game 2, I end up facing the World Eaters. I took the victory here, 29-41. Another great opponent, great sportsmanship, and I am a winner for game 2. Next, we're going to talk to Katie, who put together an amazing Slaves to Darkness army, and she's going to explain to us how it came all together in the Dragonfall Army Showcase.
This is my Slaves to Darkness army. I really love the vanilla Slaves to Darkness scheme, so I really wanted to try and find a way that I could run it as any marks. So what I ended up doing over kind of a lot of planning was I bought several tea lights off of Amazon, and I resoldered the battery pack so that it could fit slimmer batteries. And then I 3D printed the bases a little taller, and just kind of painted the rocks black. They're from Epic Basing. And voila, you kind of just use a sticky tab to put them down, and you can see that it shines through the rocks. Um, and the nice thing about doing the tea lights is that they have the receptor and programming for the remote control. So if I want to run corn, I just change it all, and sometimes they're a little tricky. There we go. And then I'm running everybody with the mark of corn. So just a little bit of versatility there. I was just trying to come up with a way to do the marks without painting them a certain way. Because at the time, 40K was very much you paint it that way you play it. Now, not so much, but it just took a lot of I am not an electronics person whatsoever. And I just took a lot of trial and error and trying to figure out how to do these electronic things kind of in a roundabout way.
Well, hey, I'm Nick Talbot from Team Riga Maraudis. This is my display. It's actually pretty easy to talk about what inspired me because me and my team typically do displays based off of Black Library books. So this is a recreation of the finale of Hell's Reach by Aaron Dembski-Bowden. I believe it's by Aaron Dembski-Bowden. Where Chaplain Grimaldus and the remains of the Black Templars, the Steel Legion, and the Sisters of Battle are defending the Temple of the Emperor Ascendant against the Orcs. Pretty much everyone dies to a man, and that's kind of where Grimaldus gets his title and his legend kind of starts. So this is kind of like the crumbling tower, and yeah, so got to kind of do a lot of vignettes and just kind of have some fun with it. It's extra fun coming to a tournament where my list is just completely based around theme as well, because my list is really bad and it allows me to just have fun with my opponent and just have a million characters on the table, and all the fun I get to have hobbying kind of translates onto the table. So yeah.
Okay, game one is in the books. I did lose. I faced Eldar. I did lose this match. Fun game, great play. As you see, I am sweating because that's how nerve-wracking the tournament process is. I'm having fun. But obviously it's stressful. So day two. Game one, I did fall, so right now I am at 2-2, and we will be back with game five. Game five, we'll see what I do. I don't know who I play yet, so we'll find out here shortly. Okay, game five in the books. I fell to Sisters. Sisters are tough. Lots of Melta, infinite amount of Melta, so fell to Sisters in game five, but awesome opponent. But the Necrons did fall. So currently 2-3 in the tournament, and there's more games to go. And we'll be back for more games, probably more losses, but that's why we roll the dice. All right, we are day 3 at Dragonfall. I'm exhausted. My voice is pretty much gone. Just a lot of yelling. My day is done for today. The weekend's over. So there's still people playing, but my 6 games are in. I'm done. I am 3-3 for the weekend, and it's been a fun ride. I just played my last game was against the Black Templars. Awesome army, awesome opponent, and we'll see you back for the recap. But Dragonfall 3 days, my first big tournament. It was something. It was something. All right. All right, so you saw it. That was my 3 days at Dragonfall. Some awesome paintings, some cool hobby stuff, and me sweating throughout the tournament over these 6 games that I played. Also, another thing that I didn't mention before, water. You have to have it. You're just going to be dying without it. Have some water next to you so you can get it. It's not like you can just leave the table depending on how much time you have to go get a drink. So just please have water as well. So after the tournament, you come back home and it's just kind of reflecting about everything. And then like the question, to me kind of comes up. So if you're not going to meta chase, which, I don't, if you do, more power to you. But me, I'm just more casual player. So like, if you're not going to meta chase, which I don't, and if you don't really care about winning, which again, that's not why I went there. I don't really care about winning. Why go to a GT at all? Like, why are you here? Why are you at a GT if you don't really care about the competitive side of things? And that's an easy question, guys. I love this game. I love this hobby. I love this game. And what's so awesome about Warhammer is that you don't have to be good at it to enjoy it. You don't have to win all your games to enjoy the hobby. I mean, look at all this stuff I have back here. Look at all this stuff. I don't have this massive Warhammer collection because I'm some supreme master strategist. I have all this stuff and I do all these things because I just love this hobby. And the game itself is just another part of it, a smaller part of it, frankly. And I think a lot of us can attest to the fact that we spend more hours assembling, painting, gathering terrain, reading or listening to lore, and we actually spend playing the game itself. So, the game is just a small part of the hobby, but, assembling those miniatures and painting, that's where the love is. And I do love the game. I do love the hobby. And that's why I went to the tournament, so I can kind of enjoy all of those things in one place with so many other people who enjoy it as well. And I feel like if you paint at your own pace, you assemble and play the way you want to, you will have fun in this crazy, expensive world of miniature wargaming that we decided to jump into for whatever reason. And lastly, big thanks to Dragonfall. It was an awesome GT, great convention. It was a great time. I would definitely do another one in the future if the opportunity arises. And I will see everyone, all of you on the tabletop, and thanks for watching.